welcome to the NXT Spring Breaking Dude Review. We are the Dadley Boyz of What Culture. I'm Adam Wilborn, joined by Michael Hamflet and Michael Sidgwick, here to review everything that happened on last night's episode of NXT. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube, where we do daily wrestling podcasts where we not only review the show formerly known as NXT 2.0. I don't know. Right now. AEW Collision. Pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a round of the week complete. The bloody good quiz, of course, on Wrestle Culture. As I said, though, joined by Hamlet and Sidgwick to review last night's episode of NXT Spring Breaking Dude.
Oh, bro, it's just like, dude, you get the best barrels ever, dude. Just like you pull in and you just get spit right out of them. And you just drop in and just smack the lip. Whoop-ah! Drop down, snap, and then after that, you just drop in, you just ride the barrel and get pitted. So pitted like that.
What's pitted?
Assume just like thrown off your board.
Yeah, like wipe out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's long on a video, that, isn't it?
Yeah. Feels it.
what a show this was. I loved it. I had a great time with this.
It was,
Disagree, yeah.
Disagree.
really like 3 of the matches. Not a bad return from the 5 advertised.
Yeah.
Not enough nonsense. Never is on these ones.
Well, there was some.
I got very excited about, not quite a PLE, but it's a mini TV PLE. But it wasn't this one. It was the graphic dropping for the next one.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
There was this episode of NXT reminded me of Dynamite.
Oh,
And what I mean by that is I get the announced card and I know pretty much what the whole thing looks like. And then about midway through the show, something awful pops up in the bottom left-hand corner. And you go, what? And where it's usually, and you know, he's had some good matches and some good moments in AEW, but it was always, you know, oh, well, it's Jay Lethal's going to lose a gentleman's 3 in about 15 minutes. So, I don't need to watch that. There was no need for this to happen. Great. Oh, well, it's Baron Corbin versus Lexis King.
There was 2 impromptu matches and they both stunk on this show. But 2 impromptu, you chose to put them on last minute and they both stunk.
Yep.
Beach Brawl was class.
Really good.
Loved that. And the 2 title matches. And a match potentially setting up well, not a title, a cup match, I suppose.
Something you've argued is more important than a title.
Oh, absolutely. These little belts that they've got.
How big the trophies are bigger, aren't they?
Exactly. Thank you. But we will get to that in due course. Let's start at the beginning of this show because this is a 2-night affair, of course.
Does that mean then that the AEW title is probably bigger than the WWE title, so it's better?
We start with the GMs, Adam Pearce, the SmackDown GM. I forget what his name is. He's on a Zoom call or whatever. And Ava, she hasn't got a surname. She's the Rock's daughter and the general manager of NXT. They're very excited for Spring Breaking Dude. They're also looking forward to the draft. Nick says he's got an eye on a few of the stars of NXT. Postman Pierce says he's got an eye on a few people too. But they'll all be watching the NXT title match. Very excited. Big build throughout this show for Dragunov versus Trick.
They couldn't say, oh, yeah, we're looking at 3 brands, 3 drafts. Ava, she hasn't got a surname. She's the Rock's daughter. Sort of carries stroke, which is, yeah, me too. I draft Cody Rhodes. Suck it. Didn't see that coming, did you? What are you going to do about it?
What are you going to do? Fire me? Huh?
I'll get my dad on you. So.
Yeah, she talks about how tonight is about who's going to step up in NXT ahead of the draft and confidently says that NXT will never be the same after tonight.
It's regrettably true. We touched on it yesterday, but I'm keen to hear your thoughts. As I imagine our views and listeners are.
Can I play it one more time?
Yeah.
Hey, Dijak, take those stupid sunglasses off. We're inside.
Wagner Watch.
Come Tuesday.
Sort of goes international now, Wagner Watch, doesn't it? Because we'll still be watching.
Oh, yeah.
We just don't know where Cal Bloom is going to surface next.
I am genuinely going to follow that man everywhere.
Yeah.
And then I was in a bit of a sad place after that news broke. And then, you just suddenly start going, there's a lot of people suddenly tweeting particularly tagging me and stuff. And I was like, oh no. And then I think I saw that, and then I think you immediately text me. This is yesterday. I just got out like B&Q or something.
Sorry.
And I was like, no. And I had a feeling, to be honest, it was coming, the way he was being utilised on the main roster. I was desperately scrabbling around for, I think on the draft video, I said, yeah, they should draft him back to NXT to fight for the I was trying to do something with him because he was doing now apart
Pronouns, pal. We're talking about
Cameron Grimes.
Cameron Grimes released, and if you didn't know about it, what a ridiculous decision. What a ridiculous job they've done with him. Like, Cameron Grimes, great. Someone called it the honky stonks man, because you know stonks and all that kind of stuff. Great character. A joy to watch get beat as a heel. Love it to see him win as a babyface. Patter out the ass. He could really go. He could
Cool
really,
finish.
really go.
Like the cave-in.
Cool finish. He could wrestle. He could talk. He was like, if you're a writer worth your salt and you have something like the honky stonks man gimmick, or generally the very essence of a Cameron Grimes and how he can make a fool of him. Sometimes he could be nasty. If you've got a creative bone in your body, you should be able to make that person a fixture on episodic television. What an unbelievable utility player he was. And I tell you what, like for my sins, I saw a lot or a decent amount of Trevor Lee in PWG, but not elsewhere, like in CWF or whatever. There are people who are really, really in the weeds of that era of independent wrestling who maintain he was one of the very best in the world on his day, in his prime, having the run of a lifetime across every indie. And they are like, we're thinking for the WWE mid-card TV role, he would have been perfect. People are adamant that it could have got even more out of him. And just another point, did you see the actual video?
Yeah.
The guy was absolutely inconsolable. It was a horrible watch.
So it's a really emotional story about him. You know, the last thing I think he said to his dad was getting signed by WWE. Yeah. And you know, you can see the passion that he has for WWE. There's no malice in him about being let go. He was complimentary about everyone there. But I did like the bit where he said this is gonna, as if he needed it. He's always like, look at the transit. When he moved to the main roster, he could have just been the guy who was awesome in NXT, but he got in even better shape. He said it's going to light a fire under his arse, and I think we touched a little bit on it on the Dynamite preview, as you mentioned, Sid.
It'll take, go on.
But I hope, and I expect that big companies are going to take a punt on him because he deserves it.
There's only one more in this landscape. With all greatest will in the world, it doesn't matter how good you are if it's not an AEW or WWE at this point. Nobody will get. I hope he shows up in AEW. I know.
He made chicken salad in a worse version of TNA, like that Impact run. Like
it did.
I don't think it was what got him signed,
but the conditions don't exist for that anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it's
it would be
AEW
on a per show
on
thing with
nothing. In terms of generating interest, buzz. Like, if you can't work a streak of great matches, who cares? I mean, Danielson Ospreay is happening, you know? Like, I really think he should go to AEW. And I know that I'm the worst. I'm a hypocrite.
We're doing it again.
Doing it again.
Stop signing people.
One more.
Just
one more. I get it. I totally get it. I'm a hypocrite when I say he signs too many wrestlers. But anyway, there's a more fun thing to talk about.
I think he could do some good stuff like him and Joe Hendry going at each other could be loads of fun.
That could be loads of fun. Genuinely, it could.
Best luck to him. Keep an eye out for that, of course.
And
Von, yes. Anyway, we opened the show last night with the triple threat for the women's world title. It was Roxanne Perez, the champion, versus the former champion, Lyra Valkyria, and the creepy Tatum Paxley, who even did something like, as part of, like, here's the challenger, here's the champion sort of thing. Yeah. The bell rings. Tatum offered Roxy a hand, but Lyra just immediately goes after her, of course, and stomps her down in the corner. Valkyria got sent outside by Perez, who looks a bit weirded out by Tatum Paxley, and they're all on the floor. Valkyria hit a Northern Light suplex with 2 on Paxley. Perez made the save. Lyra rolled up Tatum even for 2. Went up top, knocked to the floor by Roxy, who hit a high crossbody on Tatum, but Tatum reversed that into a cover, and then threw Roxy to the outside to take us to break. We come back with Lyra Valkyria powerbombing both of them out of the corner. Valkyria gets a fisherman's buster for 2 on Paxley. Perez cross-faces Valkyria and uses the bad arm, of course. But then Paxley does the same thing to Perez to stop the submission. Paxley countered Pop Rocks, sent Perez towards Valkyria, who hit her with the roundhouse kick. Paxley executed a really nice 450 splash on Valkyria, but as she goes to the cover, Perez jumps in to break it up and not steal the pin, but cradle Paxley with a jackknife for the 1-2-3. Roxanne Perez retains.
Just like a surprisingly dynamic spot fest this was. Like, I know there was like body part stuff done.
Like Yoda.
Yeah, with the arm. Like, it's a good match. I didn't think it'd be that much, this.
No.
Roxanne Perez impresses me now in an entirely different way than she has previously because this character is not her at all. She's not doing corrupted stuff, but she's kind of corrupt adjacent because that's just her heel expressions, and she's got to like overact everything in the sort of attempt to be villainous at all times, even when it's difficult because she's the best wrestler, and the best wrestler is the champion. That's a hard act to play when you're being told to be heel. So like every now and then,
one of the best baby faces that you have.
Yeah. So like something will occur that she doesn't like, and all she can do is growl at it. So it's a bit off-putting, but she's great in spite of it. It's force of will stuff. And Lyra Valkyria and Tatum Paxley had a really, really good night. I thought their chemistry was strong. All of a sudden, it feels like they weren't just paired together for the sake of it. It's like, oh, they're quite good working together. There's a singles match out here that will probably be better than people realise, and you were shown flashes of it here. So yeah, there wasn't much of a story to cling on to. But as far as Spotfest goes, where I thought there was going to be a title change, maybe that helped. I did think Roxanne Perez was going to lose, and I thought Tatum Paxley was going to win. So I think it made the near falls a bit hotter from my subjective experience. A pretty impressive over delivery. This.
I honestly thought the last 2 minutes were genuinely really, really well worked and borderline exhilarating. I couldn't predict who was going to win. I thought that everyone's footwork and ring positioning was genuinely class in terms of being in position, making these near falls feel as arresting as possible. And my God, there was a kick thrown by Lyra Valkyria at Roxanne Perez, I think, who ducked. Where I'm thinking, your head will get taken clean off if that connects.
It's the clothesline rule that you were
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about.
There was none of that in this match, was there? None of it.
Intent in the last 2 minutes in particular, genuinely, really, really, really good. The last 2 minutes was like a maelstrom. Almost loved it.
What does this make you think with Roxanne Perez retaining about her going to the main roster, Sige?
Well, why was she on Raw?
Yeah.
It can't have been a red herring. Like the post WrestleMania Raw, it's a little red herring for Spring Break Part 1. No. So, I don't know. It's weird. She could always drop it. I don't know. Oh, shut up, man.
You got it.
Got it.
We get a vignette of the likes of Jade Cargill, Grayson Waller, Austin Theory predicting who they think is going to win the world title match at the end of the night. And then Fallon Henley's in the locker room with Thea Hale, asking her about the whole situation with Chase U. Everything's been sorted. And now Thea's going to deal with JC next week. Says there's so many great people that have her back. Fallon goes to talk, and then Jada Parker goes, "Oh, shut up! You're the most popular loner I've ever seen in my life." And they get into it and set up a match for later on.
Never stand in a line with two of your friends in front of whispering wrestlers in those lockers unless you want to get in a fight on this show.
Yes.
It's a new car park. And you absolutely have to stand one by one.
I love how just the internalized misogyny, quite frankly, of that NXT creative team, because it's always the women's locker room. And they're always having a natter.
Yeah.
And then they always hate each other.
Shawn Michaels has got to say. Who we got for the Seg 2 Gab Fest?
Yak, 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 yak. Cat fight, cat fight, cat fight. See you again next week, girls.
Say Fallon Henley's a loner. I feel like there's one man who was always holding the candle for her. So.
Love them dropping.
The little breadcrumbs. They're oof.
And she lost
There
as
was not a breadcrumb dropped.
She lost yet again, and it's almost like she just hasn't got that supportive presence in her life that was being alluded to,
No one's being alluded to.
other than Brooks Jensen.
We get a vignette for Tyson DuPont and Tyreek Igwe, who are going to debut next week. They're not afraid to go pound to pound with any team. Any team that steps up will get their ass kicked, basically.
Right, isn't DuPont a name you probably don't want to call a wrestler?
Yes, I think I'm on the same. Is it a Foxcatcher thing?
Yeah.
Kurt Angle and never I didn't even consider that until right. Oh boy. Oh well.
Well, they seem like nice lads. Looking forward to seeing what they do next week. Yeah. For now, our boys, because on the main roster, our boys this is, because sensing that they're not going to be liked for much longer, and that's great. The Creed brothers are there, and Ivan Arlett as well. Diamond Mine, the only ones left. They're interviewed, and they're excited for Trick Williams.
There was someone who was in Diamond Mine, though.
Yeah, he looked like a kind of like a Jack Simon Pegg with long hair.
The only thing I liked about reviewing NXT in the pandemic.
You don't notice about this guy.
Do the line, Wilborn.
Hey, whoop that trick. And then...
Oh my God.
We get an announcement, Michael Sidgwick, for an upcoming premium live event coming away, best of all. And I can officially announce the three of us are going to be there. We're not, but...
we might.
You know, if there's like a billionaire who's watching this and thought, I'll treat the boys. If you want to fly us out to Viva Las Vegas at the UFC's Apex facility, because... You know what goes down there, don't you? After spring break, dude.
I can't remember.
It's time for NXT Battleground. You're grounded! Battlegrounded! One more Viva Las Vegas! Cha-ching! I need to work on it.
Every single time, that's it now.
Yeah.
Bright light city, gonna drop back.
Oh, I'm so excited for that.
Like, all joking aside, I love these trips. I love America. It's an unrealistic pitch.
Yes.
Right? We cannot justify going to Las Vegas as a Dadley team to only cover one show.
And it is
Like,
it's the
there's
biggest
nothing else.
It's the biggest show of the weekend, you could say.
If there was other stuff going on, maybe we could. Only discovered this today.
Yeah,
That's why I'm kind of being an asshole about it. It's kicking off at 7:30. What finishes at 7? Double or nothing. Get in the Uber. Go straight to the UFC Apex to watch it. I forgot the show again. What was it?
NXT Battleground. You're grounded. Battlegrounded. Viva Las Vegas.
He's won this time. He's won this time.
I wonder how many, there has been a lot of conversation, thanks to podcast I half recommend by Voices of Wrestling about media management and PR.
Really good.
Yeah, strong stuff. Annoying. And it can be both. All these things can be true.
Yeah.
But within that podcast, they make a point about WWE's
I really liked it.
management. Yeah, Sidgwick loved it. I loved it too, not the presenter. All these things can be true. The management of PR, again, filling me with this information, this annoying presenter, about like how WWE's reputation is massaged by the rest of the media, of which we are a part of, and everybody is.
It's got to do with anything.
What it's got to do with.
You've got this in your arsehole.
What it's got to do
you
with.
need to wipe it.
No,
I don't know what's going on here.
I'll tell you what's going on. Which members of the media will leave the AEW scrum early to get to the UFC Apex in order to maintain that WWE media relationship? See, I knew I was going somewhere.
Okay.
I was just shooting on an annoying guy who makes great points. Like, it's...
Shut up.
I like my opinions on my note.
I know I don't want beef.
There's a lot of great wrestling podcasts out there. My views do not reflect those of Michael Sidgwick.
Thank you.
He likes those guys way more than I ever will. But, like, I just think it's interesting. That room is full of, like, prominent wrestling media, more prominent than we unjustifiably are. And...
What are you doing?
I just think our coverage is good. I think we deserve to be in the room. I don't think there's anything wrong in...
You're underselling us.
Right, anyway, I just think it's interesting. It'd be interesting to see who... Because that ticket...
Can't get any better than number one.
and the dead man is number one.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, like that. I was looking into the tickets thing for Battleground, and you have to get like this sort of UFC Apex Battleground pass. So they're going to be issued. I don't know.
God.
It's not going
So
to be
many
like.
great words in that sentence.
No,
There's less than 1,000. There's less than 1,000 people in the building. It's like a production test for WWE. It's why they're doing it, because they could use this venue theoretically as part of the TKO.
Well,
It's funny.
But I've done the biggest show of the year then.
It gets announced that WWE is counter-programming Double or Nothing. And then we were having a spirited but very respectful debate, Hamflet, about whether to be AEW is to be constantly under attack. Well, I think I won.
I thought if NXT was no threat, you can't call it an attack. Which is it?
Well, it's going to gently chip away at the coverage and the buzz and the...
Well, if NXT is so trash, I'm not talking about you here. If NXT is so trash, then there's going to be no chipping away taking place.
Well, it's a WWE product and they're the market leader and they could have done it any old time they wanted.
Maybe their developmental.
Guess what? As we always do at Battleground, Cody Rhodes defends the undisputed title.
Oh, God, imagine if they do like one of them Tuesday Night Wars at NXTs in this tiny free UFC building. Send them all out there. Dead man's back. Riding his back through Vegas.
Why are they doing this venue on that day?
Well, because AEW are running Double or Nothing.
Correct.
They're not going head to head with it.
No.
They're giving him a chance.
They're giving. Hey, you can like both companies and you can go to both company shows.
That's true, actually.
Yeah, honestly, man, they're the worst.
That's factually correct.
If you've got a heart or a soul, it makes it really quite hard to like WWE. Carry on with the review, guys.
It's a really great video, that Voice of Wrestling thing. Earnestly, give it a watch.
It was the 3-on-3 match next. Probably the best 3-on-3 match I've seen this week. The D'Angelo family.
I'm not,
versus no
emotionally invested to the point where I'll get defensive
I don't know why
about the House of Black
I
versus
couldn't think of
Mark
what match
Briscoe,
you were-
Eddie Kingston, and Edge. I liked it. I thought it went 3 minutes too long.
I was thinking, like, Wilborn would do this bit when you had the best of 7
Yeah.
series. with
I
Gary
really
Bucks.
liked the Elite versus Pac and FTR.
Mm-hmm.
It was great, wasn't it?
Was the collision thing good, where Brian got, like, had the stitches?
I was lower on the
Bunkhouse. I remember the name
bunkhouse
of it.
than a few too many moves.
It's a wild old thing to do, innit? Smash your head open ahead of, like, working the...
Yeah.
It's very Brian.
No, it's very
Like-
Danielson. It's very Dragon. It's so Dragon. I liked the Natural Nightmares versus the Butcher and the Blade more.
That's an all-time fave, that, isn't it?
Great.
Speaking of all-time faves, the D'Angelo family versus No Quarter Catch Crew. Brawl straight away. Dempsey grabbed a triangle choke on Tony D, but that got broken up with a powerbomb. Tony D gets Damon Kemp into the corner. Hot tag to Stacks. Everything breaks down.
Forget he's a wrestler. Every time he wrestles.
Everyone ends up on the floor, basically, apart from Damon and Kemp, who hits a big flip dive onto the pile to take us to a break. When we come back, Stacks is isolated. He's in trouble. But the Dan gets the hot tag, sends everyone flying. Kemp and Bourne get hit with the belly-to-bellies. There's a massive spine buster to Dempsey. Kemp tries to break it up, but Tony moves, and Kemp double stomps Dempsey. Tony eventually gets laid out. There's a 2 count in there for the No Quarter Catch Crew. Kemp hit, I think, it's like an angle slam into a neck breaker as well for a near fall. Also, there's a really nice save by Luca Crucifino, who hit like an Arn Anderson-esque spine buster in there. But in the end, it was a spine buster actually that won the match for the family. Dempsey got shoved into the ropes by Tony and came back to a huge spine buster for the 1-2-3, pinning, well, one of, I suppose, technically, but the Heritage Cup champion.
Finish came out of nowhere. The match, in terms of its excitement level and how it increased, did not really increase. It was just kind of like...
Can't go higher than 100, baby.
It's on a flat line, and then...
Do you know those 100 noise?
Yeah.
Here's how I would describe the noise and the level of excitement. Think about how my pitch changes here. Is there? Yeah. And then Tony T did a big spot on. All of them have conveniently assembled. We'll catch that in the dub.
That's the problem. They don't.
Yeah. No, it was just there, wasn't it? Some moves and some order.
This was no good. And again,
Disagree.
The Heritage Cup.
Oh, yeah.
It's just not.
Oh my God.
Oh, sorry, is that not you?
It's not least like what we're doing here, right? Within the confines of kayfabe, the Heritage Cup, something that you can win through winning matches, is being deemed adequate payment by the mafiosos for disappearing Drew Gulak. That's still what we're doing here, isn't it?
Don't mention it anymore, though. It's just going to be.
It just wants the cup.
Next week, it's going to be he pinned one of the Heritage Cup champions, and therefore he's getting a Heritage Cup shot. Why are those two interacting in the first place? Those two groups. It doesn't matter. Don't think about it.
It's such a well, I've got big things for the family. We've lost the tag belts, but it's all right because I'm looking up. I'm going to win the world title. Fails at mission.
What's better than the world title? Trophy.
It's weak.
We just got to keep him busy until the
What's your
draft.
favourite Heritage Cup match of all time?
All of them just really, really strong. Actually, probably when Charlie Dempsey beat. Was it? I love rounds matches. I've always said this from day one.
What's your favourite thing about the rounds match as a genre?
Probably the break in between the rounds, or the fact that round 3 is always picture in picture. You never see a second of it. So.
I do like coming back from the break to find that we've skipped a whole round. It feels great. It feels like you've won one.
Yeah.
Oh, no way. We're close to the end.
Oh, thank God.
Right.
Yeah.
So you like that feeling, yeah? It's good.
You know what? I've been stewing on this ever since you mentioned it. I'm going to go and have a chat with the bigwigs downstairs, see if we can get some tickets for NXT Battleground in Las Vegas sorted. You keep talking about this show.
Can't just wait until the podcast.
I'm not having it. I'm going to go and have a word with them now.
Just waiting.
Yeah, I'm not fighting this one. I want him to do that.
No, 40 minutes. Just wait 40 bloody minutes.
I'm sure when he
hurts.
comes back to the office in seconds, I imagine he'll have good news for us and he'll have got those tickets.
I just think he can wait 40 goddamn minutes. All he has to do is wait 40 minutes. I mean, there's no rush. Then again, there was for Clash at the Castle.
If he comes back and says
There
no,
was
we'll
a
just
huge
flip the
rush.
desks.
Huge rush at Clash at the Castle. Long time no see.
What do you think of the old match at dude?
Congratulations on a well-earned victory.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Hey, you always said Heritage Cup best championship, right?
You did.
No, Wilborn did. Stacks, have you said this?
We all said it, right, guys?
I didn't.
I agree.
Why is it better than the NXT title?
Just bigger.
Huh?
Bigger's better in my world. Since happy National Bucket List Day, by the way, of course.
Oh, is that what it is?
Indeed.
Today?
What's the deal with buckets, though, huh?
Bucket. Well, a bucket is a rather wide receptacle that can be used to put things in, i.e., cement, I think, gets in a bucket, and then they pour it in, and they build the houses. And then,
That's how it's done.
that's how it's done. Sand. A bucket can be a tool for manual work and a toy for children to build sand castles. Here's something. Where were you born, Stacks?
America.
Whereabouts in America were you born, Stacks? Because you're saying you're in a different part of the world. Put it this way, you were born in America. You were not born, Stacks, in the northeast of England.
Let me just check that fact. Raleigh, North Carolina. I remember it like it was the 3rd of March, 1997.
Jesus Christ, Stacks, you're just a pup.
Spring chicken.
13 was your first WrestleMania. That's quite something.
Bloody hell. Anyway, Stacks.
Completely missed my birthday, you two. You didn't say nothing.
Sorry. When was it? Sorry, Stacks?
The 3rd of March. It was a Sunday, to be fair.
Yeah, we only see you on Tuesdays and Wednesdays every week.
Not yesterday, though. I went to the dentist.
Oh, how's it going?
Fine.
Good.
I have a feeling to be fair, Stacks, you won't know what the deal is with birthdays until next year.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. So you don't know what a birthday is. That's fine. He doesn't know much, but he learns quick. He's a quick learner.
One thing a week.
Yeah, and he really picks it up quickly.
He does.
We have established this. So buckets in addition
3rd of March, 2025 is a Monday.
Cool. So
Want to do Raw?
Sounds good.
So in addition to being a tool and a toy, okay, you won't know this because being from a completely different part of the world to the northeast of England.
Raleigh, North Carolina.
You're kind of a Geordie at heart now because you're a frequent visitor, but they're flying visits, so you don't really get to ingratiate yourself into the culture. A bucket is also a slang term in this part of the world, in these woods, for a very crude device with which you imbibe marijuana. It's kind of a crude bong-like structure. There's a blast on that bucket, man. I'm stoned already, man. That's what they say up here.
Give us a blast on the bucket, man.
Well, hang on. You've got a very thick
North Carolina.
North Carolina
accent. Yeah, obviously.
Okay.
Give us a blast on that bucket, man.
But can you do...
420 earlier this week, of course.
It was.
Yeah. Can you do... in your voice, the Geordie that you've heard from me for years now.
Oh, sorry.
Not really. Well, you're a fast learner. We get it.
Indeed. Better accents than Willie, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not great with his
You know, I
accent.
actually, I almost didn't make it into the podcast today. When I went to hop on the old plane, I saw someone had tipped a bucket of mayonnaise over it. I was like, what the hell, man? Huh? 3 questions, 3 jokes
I'm
for
sure
you.
that wouldn't stop a plane, really.
A bucket of mayonnaise on a plane.
Digi, question joke number 1. Why did the general throw a bucket of water over a bunch of soldiers? Picture that.
The general threw a bucket of water over a bunch of soldiers because they army, war.
A bunch of soldiers.
Bucket of water because that would wake you up and they wear fatigues.
Whoa. Explore that avenue, Sige.
Well, because they were fatigued.
Yeah, as in their uniforms.
Yeah.
I like that.
Because they were fatigued.
Good.
Bugger!
Why did the general throw a bucket of water over a bunch of soldiers? Because he wanted to wash his privates. Huh?
Yeah, it's good.
And for question joke number 2, what's gray and comes in buckets?
An elephant.
A horny elephant. Yeah.
You got a button for this one. Bingo! Shout out to Nelly. Final, could be the last one ever. Final question, final joke for you, Sige. How is a sexy lady a little bit like a bucket of KFC?
It's a finger licking good.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Good, but not right.
Oh, God.
How is a sexy lady a bit like a bucket of KFC? Because once you pass the tender breasts and the juicy thighs, all you got is a greasy wet box to put your bone in. See you later, guys.
That's vile stacks, man. Come on. You gotta be saying stuff like that. Oh, it's not on. It's, I'm disgusted. Bye, Stacks. Very disappointing.
Maybe forever, but
Guys, no go into the battleground by the looks of things.
what do you think lost us the spot?
I think they said we were too edgy, I think was the term they used. Where'd you get up to?
I don't know, man.
Corbin's backstage
Oh, God.
doing a video shoot.
I really think he's funny.
Anyway, Lexis King showed up, said from one king to another, fake one. He's got him a leaving basket. Corbin says, I'm not leaving. Lexis says, bronze on SmackDown. And Corbin's just going to lash himself onto the next second generation star. And he says, he leaves, and Corbin says, he's an idiot and his beard's not real, to set up a match for them later on.
Yep, not very good. All the stunk.
When Damien Priest's music hit when he was about to cash in at WrestleMania, I was so up. I think I blacked out a bit, and I almost missed the cash in itself because I just couldn't come round. Anyway.
Jada Parker versus Fallon Henley.
Bad match.
You're not great.
Oh, God, no, this is good.
Fallon Henley.
I don't know that was bad. Oh, mine's got a skew.
Fallon Henley got some near falls, but in the end, Parker sent her throat first into the ropes and hit the teardrop hip attack for the 1, 2, 3.
Just zero chemistry. It was, impromptu build
Clunky.
up. Locker room fight stuff. Not good. Not good. Fallon Henley is supposed to be losing as the veteran who should be doing better. He's got to wrestle like it too. Sorry. Wasn't good.
It's just clunky and not good at all.
We get a promo from JC Jane. She says when she hears Thea's name, she thinks ungrateful. She gave Thea a ticket to the hottest attraction, but she must have hit her head because there was no thank you. Thea should be kissing the ground she walks on and begging on her hands and knees for her wisdom. But she's an ungrateful little girl, and Jason's going to make her repay the debt next week. I can't wait for this.
I can't wait for
I think it should be good. They build it for bloody.
It's been so well promoted. 1 year in the making.
We get a vignette by Lola Vice ahead of the NXT Underground contract signing. And she basically says she's going to be a legend, become a legend at Natalia's expense. And then we get a word from JD McDonough, who's got history with Ilya Dragunov. Says you basically have to hospitalize him to win, and Trick isn't that guy. And then New Catch Republic said, well, they were both split, actually. Pete Dunne said Ilya was going to win, but Tyler Bate got very giddy and said he was going to whoop that Trick. And Trick Williams was going to get the win.
I honestly forgot about JD McDonough's NXT run somehow. He was like the wink behind the glasses.
Oh, yes.
The dissections.
Of course. Was he hanging upside down like a bat? Forgot about all that.
Flooding
I'm thinking
back.
it's NXT UK they're talking about.
It all came flooding back.
I didn't remember yesterday. I mentioned the Dragunov match as a sort of, in spite of JD McDonough, the match was great. Like we were talking about Dragunov as the ace, realistically, of this whole show, and their match was the moment I was like, all right, fine, he might still have something, maybe. It's because he worked with Dragunov. So no, he didn't.
Then a really fun part. It was the NXT Underground contract signing. Ava's at the podium. She hasn't got sent. She's Rock's daughter and the general manager of NXT, hence why she was hosting this. Says one of the most important parts of her job is continuing to push into the new era and break the glass ceiling. That's why Natalia's here. She's honoured to host the contract signing. Carmen Petrovic is out there with Natalia as well. She's going to be in her corner. Natalia signs, calls out Lola Vice. She comes out on her own. Lola signs the contract and says, it's official. History's been made. Natalia says, who's in your corner? And Lola says, don't worry about that. Worry on what I'm going to do to you next week. Just because I shake my ass doesn't mean I can't kick some ass. Next week we're going to make history. Next week I'm going to break Natty. And Natty says, I knew when I met you that you've got an ego that needs to be kept in check. I respect that Lola, although you came from cage fighting, but you don't respect that I came from the dungeon. You don't respect business.
FCW.
And if Lola's going to lead stars into the future, then she's going to beat some respect into her. And next week, she wants Lola to break everything she has because she's going to tap her ass out. Lola says, look, Natty, you can try, but when the lights dim, your fate is in my hands. I'm the fastest in the division, and my training partner is going to make me even better and faster and what have you. Shayna Baszler returns to NXT. Gets a great reaction. She gets a welcome back chant, of course. She says Natty is smart enough to tell from the atmosphere that her chances have just gone from slim to none. The baddest woman in NXT is aligned with the baddest woman in WWE. She says you should probably tear up the contract, Natty, especially if Carmen Petrovic is your training partner. Shayna shoves Carmen, who kicks Shayna in the head, and Shayna does a brilliant sell of this kick. All breaks down to a brawl, and the babyfaces clear the ring, basically.
Shayna Baszler, to her immense credit, showed an unbelievable amount of ass, considering she was just put herself over as the killer of this show, and then one boot to the head, and she goes down like a sack. Like, that was really good stuff in trying to actually help people from... As Natalia is doing, you know, she gets a bit of grief, but that's the whole point of this.
It's all from him.
Yeah, well, like, Lola Vice is somebody they've identified as somebody worth this kind of push, and you would think both her and Carmen Petrovic will be in better shape as a result of this. Not bad.
No.
Like, honestly, not bad. I like the way it looked. Like, we take the piss, but I think like NXT Underground is yet more stupidity to look forward to next week. Broadly a success, all of this.
He can kind of build interest in the match, can Sean, can't he?
Yeah.
He's got a way. He's got a way of doing it.
Either in-ring segment with a surprise main roster appearance, or 9 months of a fictional university and a good girl gone bad.
Yeah.
There's lots of ways to skin the cat. As Sean showed you in Royal Rumbles.
Speaking of building interest, Rich Bully Hollins walking about earlier. It says it's been a rough few months, but it's now time to stack up some victories and find success the right way. Sean Spears appears.
Oh, you're tired.
He's going to find victories the right way by rendering people unconscious for at least 3 seconds when that's what sends him into a spiral. It doesn't work.
No, it's stupid.
This does not
It's
work.
completely stupid, but it's goated, isn't it? Well born.
Sean Spears tells him to give in to the thoughts, or better yet, let them out. And Ridge Holland says, "You can't round me up. I'll be seeing you," and just leaves.
Give in to the thoughts.
Cave my head in.
Yeah. Go on. And then I win.
What's worse? They're both bad. They're both diabolical, in fact. Sean Spears just wanting to get CTE. Or Chris Jericho just being flatly uninterested. The fictional character in his own career. Like, who can I make star? Who can I make star? What is he, Simon Cowell? Do you know what I mean?
Do you think the Sean Spears thing is like gets hit so hard with the chair that you see him in like NXT hospital, wherever that is, NXT local medical facility, and the doctors are like, he's come round, but his eyes are like, we don't know where he is. He's like, "Sir, can you count to 10?" And he just starts doing that with his hands, and that's how Ty Dillinger comes back. And that's what all this has been about.
Great bit of booking, that.
Thank you.
There's a testament. Oh, there's a segment even with Final Testament.
Oh my God, no.
Karen Cross says, "We're going to take you back to the good old days." We're living in them. You don't have to take me back anywhere. We're in the good old
I was
days.
looking at Karen Cross thinking, you've literally never been in good old days. I've seen them all. I've not had a good one yet.
The good old days where he kind of torpedoed NXT's viewership and perception as a... Obviously, AEW had a lot to do with this, but NXT still produced shows that were well received at the time, like the December 18 Dynamite. Remember what I posted? People loved that show.
Yeah.
They were still fighting for that title, and then they signed Cross.
Cross was good in
The
that
Ali
Ciampa
Dia
match.
of professional wrestling.
Ciampa match was good, yeah. Ciampa
Oh,
gave him
yeah.
everything.
And then,
That's a good old day.
And
Not
then,
the good old days.
Yeah.
the good old day, what, in your house? And then we had Keith Lee's Spooky Fire contract. Oh! I don't think I'm into this anymore, Carrie.
Karrion Kross has got a phobia of getting over.
Sean Spears gets going with him. Open up your heart to being good, mate. You can do it.
Paul Ennering says, AOP's destiny is clear. The Final Testament is coming for all the titles. That will be their dynasty. Oh, how convenient that they're saying that this week. And then we cut back to the locker room where there is the tag champs, who are, of course, Nathan Fraser.
When I'm cleaning windows.
And his tag partner, Axiom. Nathan, Axiom's not happy. Fraser says, they're monsters and they're coming after our titles. Not Space Jam. Although, they're coming after
That
our
would never work in a wrestling context.
Come on, Sean.
Come on, Sean.
Love Space. I started watching Space Jam again the other day. It's class. Eric wasn't even around. Anyway.
When the film was made, I should hope not.
Malik Blade isn't happy about
Come
all
on and slam, and welcome to my cat.
Space cat.
Space cat.
Space cat.
Come on and slam. Slip.
Malik Blade, anyway, isn't happy.
Daffy Dick. What's up, Dick? Bugs Bunny. Space Jam.
What's it, Bugs Bunny, what can we do with that?
What's up, Dick?
Yeah, what are the other characters? We'll do the actual characters first.
Pork Pig.
What's it called?
It's Pork Pig and he's
Pork Pig.
pork.
I Pork the Pig.
Can't remember the other Looney Tunes.
Isn't he like the chicken? Who's like, see you now, you here?
Oh, what was he called?
Dead man. Go on, Space Jam Wiki. Come on, let's have some fun with this.
That's proper Undertaker as well. Like. And I took that personally.
The good
Take everything personally.
Elmer Fudd.
Elmer.
Foghorn, Leghorn. That's just got
it.
horn in it twice.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Elmer.
Daffy Duck, the Tasmanian Devil.
The
Jazz
Mag.
Jazz Mag Reading Devil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Porky Pig. Tweety Pie.
I mean, there's pie in there.
Yeah. Pie.
Marvin the Martian. Sylvester. Pussycat. Senior.
Come on, guys.
Come on.
Yosemite Sam.
You'll sit on me, Sam.
Yeah.
Wiley Coyote and Roadrunner.
Willie Coyote.
Mm-hmm.
Chode Runner.
Chode Runner, that's good.
And-
Wile E. Coyote, there's got to be another one for that. I don't know what it is, though.
Wile E. Throaty.
Yeah.
And Lola Bunny needs no introduction.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
I miss this podcast. I really will miss this podcast. We had a good run.
Anything in Bill Murray?
Phil Murray. No, I don't mean PH.
Yeah.
Right. This I remember. So the monsters, they're coming after the titles. Malik Blade, our boys, you just know from Malik Blade there. And they're like, we're bloody fed up with all these main roster teams. And God Anderson and Luke Gallows like, yeah. What a life they have.
Nice bit, that.
And then Idris Enofe smashes a mirror. So that's a note to remember for next week. They're cursed now.
Well, that's 7 years of bad luck.
Yes.
Well, that's a game for next week.
Yes.
What unlucky thing what will befall them?
Or will Brindley Reese save them from each?
Shawn Michaels booking a smashed mirror. Is this to summon Marty Jannetty to NXT? All-timer angle.
He ain't doing so well. He's doing things that he shouldn't on digital interviews. But you can see the evidence.
Yeah.
We've seen it. Yeah. I mean, why have we talked around it? He claims to have done cocaine in an interview with Steve Fall.
In an interview with Steve Fall, which you can check out on the internet,
Don't.
Steve Fall tries his best to keep this train on the tracks. But
It's like watching two different species interact.
it was like on all the clickbait thumbnails of this interview. So this is not us reporting it. It's simply on this interview. He's like, I went around to a party at Hulk Hogan's house and he just had pills in an M&M dispenser. It's like Diddy Martin. It's like, welcome to the sweet shop. It's all drugs. Brother. 20p.
One of the highlights of the night for me came next. It was the Beach Brawl match. Blair Davenport versus Sol Ruka. Just full of gimmicks, this, and that's why I loved it, I think. They start off outside the ring. Sol hit Blair with a surfboard, and then we call it a bodyboard, I think, but the Americans call it a boogie board, and I prefer boogie board. So that's what Blair came back with. She also bat away a beach ball, but then got trapped in an inflatable ring.
Oh my god.
Sol did the splits on the apron to dodge some shots and kicked Blair down. There was a picnic bench that looked like it would have sucked to take a bump into.
Why?
It's a picnic at the beach, I suppose. Then there was just a good old-fashioned chair. You know, the steel chairs that you see at the beach.
The beach, yeah.
Got a horrible feeling that's going to be quite hot if you leave the sun just blazing down on it all day.
They actually have deck chairs and sunbeds. They couldn't trouble themselves to get a couple of them instead of a steel chair, could they?
Yeah.
There's always these and these gimmick
The
things.
opposite of the thing you'd want at the beach. Oh, a nice steel chair.
Yeah. Like,
I get really hot in the
Yes.
sun, that really, really burn your ass.
when do you choose like lights out match? With all things you need to go to sleep, such as the trademark Hendo stick.
Yes.
Like, try just a bit harder. This was good, actually. I'm shooting on it. This was good.
No, it wasn't.
I really like
Crap.
It was great, man.
Well, basically, Sol told Blair Davenport, "Welcome to the ball pit," with a face buster into the kiddie pool to take us to a break. Oh, no, actually, before that, she put a surfboard on Blair and did a double stomp.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Love this match. More boogie board shots as we come back. Standing moonsault from Sol Ruka gets a 2 count. They exchange some super kicks. Sol Ruka hit a spinning powerbomb for 2, but Davenport came back with a German suplex. They're outside. Blair set up the surfboard and tried to throw Sol into it, but she reversed. She does the walk along the guardrail spot, but she got pushed off that. It looks like Blair's going to put her through a table with like this beach covering on it. But Sol fought her off, got her on the shoulders, backpack dropped her through the picnic table, sent her in and hit an awesome springboard soul snatcher for the 1-2-3.
I love how seemingly at no point is the question asked, what are we doing here?
I felt that a bit in the second half when it got a bit moves heavy for my liking.
No, I thought about it.
Stick to the weapons.
I just thought, like, half the stuff wouldn't really hurt. It's just the tone of, like, an ostensibly serious... I mean, I loved it because it was bad.
Yeah.
I'm watching this, getting it wrong, expression in my face because, my God, it's meant to be this big vengeance moment after you've been put on the shelf for 9 months. Oh, let's get your face in that ball pit. I'll show you. What? I love as well how it's like It's not like a council-funded park match. Why is there a park bench there? Gimmick a surfboard and make it snap in half so it makes a nice noise and it's a good visual. Like a park bench draped on an apron that looked, as you said, like it just looked awful to take.
Yeah. But the way the beach ball bounced off the head was really impressive. It just went flying. Like, Sorry didn't sell it, at least.
Yeah.
I don't know, I liked looking at this a great deal. Like, very, very, very silly and brightly coloured weapons. There was a point where, after the break, when you were taking the piss with how many, like, wrestling moves you were suddenly doing, having just accepted these terms as normal. So, we're going to have this fight, and it's around all these kids' toys. A soft play fight with the occasional very, very, very difficult to negotiate weapon. And then for a couple of minutes, we'll like exchange holds and moves. I hated that bit. And there was such a disconnect. But then we got back to the good stuff for the finish. So they got there. Like, and I honestly, out of all of this as well, the debut of the Soul Snatcher that isn't in the corner, impressive. Obviously something she's practiced. Makes that finisher better than it already was and less contrived than it already was. You know, like when Rey Mysterio faced a 619 around the ring post or something. Ooh, a new element to this. Bit of athleticism, like that.
We get a lovely moment. Trick's on the phone with his mom. Trick says he's going to fight, and she needs to do it as well. She says to whoop that Trick. Johnny Gargano shows up, sits down. Trick says the pressure's on. No pressure, no diamonds, basically. Trick should use his pain, use it as a weapon. This is a new Trick Williams, basically. Ilya hasn't beaten this one. Winning the title, says Gargano, took every ounce of him to do it. Trick says he's ready, and they have a nice moment together.
Can I say as well, I haven't really made this point clear enough, I don't think I've even made it at all. This stuff throughout the night was genuinely really inspired.
Yeah.
It made it seem like a really big match, like it was literally the epicenter of this entire fictional universe, as it should have been. You're trying to make your big breakthrough babyface who, you know, if he actually gets really good in the ring on his own terms without the best opponent, he could be the biggest male success story in the history of this entire building. This was really well done throughout. Really, really well done, I have to say.
There's no rules for when this device works, is there? It's either just got to feel authentic or not. And because it was Trick's crown and it felt authentic.
Yeah.
It felt like this is the reason why NXT 2.0 has existed.
Yeah.
Even though it's not called that and hasn't been for some time.
The metaphor of some TikTok of them trying to go to a show or something. Breakdown. And the boys couldn't fix it, but Lash could, thankfully. Then it was time for Alexis King versus Baron Corbin.
Skip.
That's a good one.
King tried to cheat with his feet on the ropes, got caught, then the ref almost got bumped, and that distraction allowed him to low blow Corbin and hit him with the coronation.
This was, and I can't think of it any more succinctly, between the pace, the moves you saw, the order they did them in, and just how it dragged. And I was like, are you sure that's not the finish, lads? If you've botched it, just like walk out the ring. I don't have to see more of this. This was absolutely exactly what you think a Baron Corbin versus Lexus King match looks like, to such a numbing extent. You have to wonder who's pitching this and why they're still employed.
It's just going to be rough.
How was this ever going to be good?
No.
It was so bland and plodding and heatless and uninteresting. Whoever pitched this needs to be shot.
Thanks for that sweet PLE payday, though. Well, not PLE. Well, I don't know. Was the TV special count as a... I don't know.
Spring breaking payday. Yeah. As good as the vignettes have been and the squashes have been, like, the jury's out on newly minted main roster babyface Bron Breakker, and this was just a bit sad. The Wolf Dogs mourning period continues when what you could do is just have them be together on the main roster.
Yeah.
Like, it's... Again, I don't want to bury Bron Breakker because we've just got started, and like, signs are good, but not exciting good. Just solid start. This was bad, as in bad.
This was
back together.
This was the band is continuing to tour after the lead star singer has left.
Yeah,
what are you still doing, boys? You're still doing, guys.
Especially if the band have even fallen out. Just literally get the band back together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know whether they're just thinking, well, we'll draft Corbin in the draft, so we might as well give Lexus King a win before he leaves NXT.
That's a point, actually, yeah. But SmackDown could draft him, couldn't they?
Like you say, no one's going to be like, bloody hell, you got Corbin. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Right, we get a little moment with Dragunov before the world title match. He says he's up forever on Bazikbar. And Damian Priest walks up and says, "Good luck, champ." And then they do the nice walk and talk with Trick and Byron Saxton. Says, "Look, it's all on the line tonight. Win tonight or I'll leave NXT for good. Champion or bust. He's going to fight. And he fears no man. Is okay tonight, good or bad. As his mama said, let's whoop that Trick." And the audience were just going mental for him, weren't they, throughout the night. And then we got Trick Williams versus Dragunov for the NXT title. If Trick loses, he is gone from NXT. We've obviously seen these two work together before. Nice bit of back and forth early on. They trade some kicks to the face. Dragunov hit a running DDT, and the Constantine special got a 2 count. He also got a powerbomb. Also a nice moment after that. They get to their feet, forehead to forehead. It's a nice embrace. They've been through this war many times, and then they just start trading fists. Ilya off the ropes with a knee to the jaw to take
This
a
is
break.
Shawn Michaels production.
Yes.
And Dragunov looked buzzed to be able to play it out, didn't he?
Hate
and love are very close together.
I've got the bug. Acting bug.
There was a rough bump when they came back from the break. I don't know what happened here. It was Dragunov was going for a sunset bomb, and Williams just sort of landed on his chest, and the ref immediately went to check on it. Yeah. So glad they're both all right after that. Anyway, Dragunov comes back. He's clearly fine because he hit a coast-to-coast missile dropkick for a 2 count afterwards. But Trick Williams came back and hit an H-bomb on a Torpedo Moscow of his own, which was a nice change of pace. Dragunov kicked him in the head and hit a Death Valley driver into the corner as well. All this,
Oh my
really
God.
great. Loaded up the announce table, teased putting Trick through it, but Williams countered him and basically gave him a rock bottom off the barricade through the announce test to a huge PIP. They get back in the ring. Ilya's up top. Huge superplex. H-bomb. He grabs the foot, pulls him into the corner. Another big H-bomb. He thinks he's got the match won. But Trick Williams kicks out, and Ilya can't believe it. So he goes back up, blows another kiss, another H-bomb. That's it. But in the process of hitting the H-bomb, he's in a bit of pain. So he takes a brief second to recover.
Do you think there's some LTST with what's this damage stacked into his hands? Because he was pulling up after the table spot. It was so he's doing.
Yeah. Nobody will credit Stacks for this.
No.
Except on this podcast.
So Trick kicks out again. Crowd are thinking that he might finally have a chance. Ilya hit a German suplex, but Trick got right back up and hit a knee to Ilya's back for 2. And they both set up in the corners in a wonderful callback to a phenomenal wrestling match. That was Ilya Dragunov versus Trick Williams, of course. Who can hit the finishing shots? And it's Trick Williams. He hits the trick shot knee. 1, 2, 3. He's the new world champion. Dragunov grabs the title, and he's the person to give it to Trick Williams with a nice embrace as well. Trick Williams slays the Mad Dragon. He's the new NXT champion.
Like, all joking aside from that finish, because you said there'd been a bit of discourse today, it was a nice callback because it was a good finish at Vengeance Day, and it was better here because Trick has learned. That was a very simple, basic story being well told. So I'll steer away from any of that. This was
People showed their arse.
Yeah.
So what in terms of...
Because it happened, 48 hours, 48 hours after the Ospreay Danielson moment. People thought because they just ripped off that sequence really close to the finish, when in fact it was a callback to the previous match, and you could argue, I don't think Danielson or Ospreay would have watched it.
I don't imagine so.
I just think 2 incredible wrestling brands, Wilborn, have independently arrived at the same spot.
I agree.
Only a good match, but an amazing crowning, and you can't have that in wrestling. I think it wasn't the best Trick and Dragunov match, I don't think.
By far, but not the best.
But the story and the way Trick has evolved from wrestling Dragunov, kayfabe, showed itself here, and it was the perfect way to crown him. It was a really cool TV title win, to Sidge's point about how they built throughout the show. You don't get that much, really, because they steer away from a lot of major title changes on TV anyway. And I think because you knew this was going to happen, they thought, right, everyone knows what the finish is going to be. Let's just make you anticipate that more with the build over the course of 2 hours. And you just don't get a lot of it in wrestling anymore because it is saved for pay-per-view, or it is saved for I know they're not takeovers anymore, but the takeover cycle, pretty much. So this was the best kind of crowning for Trick Williams, because for all that, it's great to see him get these amazing reactions in these big buildings on these PLE specials. this building, oddly, does have a bit of trick lore, wasn't it? It was in there where we were just asked to pretend that he'd been with Mello all along.
Yeah.
It was in there where the crowd first really gravitated to him and showed the rest of the world how to enjoy Whoop That Trick and all that sort of stuff. So he did feel like he was in the right place for it. The contrast with Trick Williams being amongst that crowd, which we know, as me and Sid talked about yesterday, are just staring at an air conditioning unit, a Grey War, right? And how much they wouldn't want it to be anywhere in the world but there, versus the audience in a full building at Monday Night Raw and kind of like, all right, well done, Becky. Like those two celebrations were night and day. Like a really impressive presentation of a just good match.
Yeah, to quote Tony Storm, couldn't hold a pussy-scented candle to their previous match at...
Judgment, Vengeance Day.
Vengeance Day. I mean, that match was, I actually thought was great.
Yeah.
This was, in terms of the way it was built, as again, I mentioned, it felt like the epicenter of the entire universe. Every single character within that world was invested. Really great job of the promotion and the presentation and build. The match itself, while not great, and really I thought the melodrama was so goddamn annoying. Like Shawn Michaels just had to Shawn Michaels it, and I
didn't like the hook. Made me feel weird.
Yeah, he just had to Shawn Michaels it, and it really pissed me off. But I just forgot about that because I just really liked Trick Williams, and I thought, just get into the match, get into it. Ultimately, if you look at the arc of Trick Williams, how they've intersected, definitely dovetailed, that grudge feud with Carmelo Hayes, how he did what Carmelo Hayes couldn't do, ultimately proved himself the better wrestler and the better man by beating Dragunov. Really good booking stuff. Like, really good booking stuff. Genuinely, like, a triumph of star creation from Cooker of the Year, Michael Hickenbottom.
With it, like, to pay off 1 week after the other and survive a steel cage. It's perfect babyface.
Yeah.
Plotting, isn't it?
I think it's a bit rushed because we've got to get Carmelo and Ilya the hell out of here. But ultimately, from day one of Trick to everything else, what a masterful job they've done of creating a star here. He just needs to get better.
Really happy for Trick Williams, though. Let us know your thoughts on everything Spring Breaking Night 1, dude, in the comment section.
Oh, yeah, it's
below.
another week of this. Do not worry at all.
Or on X, at What Culture WWE. Actually, you can follow all three of us. You can follow Michael Hamflet at
Michael Hamflet.
Follow Michael Sidgwick at
M. Sidgwick.
Follow me at Adam Wilborn. Follow us all at What Culture WWE. As I said, make sure you subscribe to What Culture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcast from, for daily wrestling podcasts. The Dynamite preview is available right now, and we'll be back next week to preview and review Night 2 of Spring Breaking. But for now, this has been the Night 1 review. My thanks to Hamflet, Sidgwick, and Stacks. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.